I know that a load of businesses have been really affected by lockdown, and in this short series of 5 videos and podcasts, I've interviewed 5 business owners who have really had to change what they do. I've called it Lockdown Leverage, and I really hope you enjoy it. Hey, folks, as part of the Lockdown Leverage, actually, the first interview that I'm doing on the Lockdown Leverage series is with a friend of mine and someone who I've had the pleasure of working alongside a number of times and benefited from his experience. And I'm really interested in talking to him because he's one of those businesses that has really had to fundamentally change over the last year or 18 months. So I'm here with Neil Sayer of Spotlight Studios, Spotlight
Hello.
Streaming Studios. See, I knew I was going to do that. I'm not going to edit that out because tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, Neil.
Yeah, so those who don't know me, I'm Neil Sayer. I'm the Managing Director of Istead Business Presentations on Istead AV. I think we still are, audiovisual production company. What does that mean? It means that if you've ever been to a conference or an event or a gala dinner, we're the guys who would have been on site at 5 a.m, building the backdrop, building the stage, setting up all the lighting, sound, projection equipment. And we're there on site behind making it look amazing on stage. It's almost like a hidden art, because if you've sat in a room and watched Stefan on a stage, all that stuff wasn't there in the morning. That stage wasn't there. The sound system wasn't there. We arrive with our trucks of kit and make it look amazing in the room. So that's our world. We've been trading here in Coventry for 30 years. I've been in the business for 27 years. I owned a company with my business partner. Life was great. I'll leave it at that, or we'll go on to more because COVID hit.
Yeah, so the first time I actually worked with you was at a proper event then, the Business Networking Show. And actually, the thing that's become a bit iconic in my life, the walk on stage to Motorhead's Ace of Spades, you were the first company responsible for actually making that happen for me. So the fact that I could say, I want this stupid entrance and want Ace of Spades playing loudly, and I wanted dry ice as well. I'd never had anything like that, but you're the people who actually make that stuff happen at sales conferences and that sort of thing.
That's it. We got your technical rider. Stefan wants this, and this, and this. No, joking apart, you said, I'd always wanted to walk onto stage to the Ace of Spades with some dry ice. So we make that happen. And there's a video clip somewhere of you getting this standing ovation. And again, people just think that happens. And, you guys on stage have got lots to think about presenting. I'm not a presenter. I'm here today, but I'm the guy behind the scenes. And I think we understand what you've got to deliver on stage. You don't want to think about any of the tech. You've got your message. You've got to deliver it. So we're the guys here making sure when you say, please welcome on stage, Stefan, the music's there on time, the smoke's there on time. As you arrive on stage, your slides are in the correct order and your clicker works. It sounds easy, but there's lots of people involved in my team who make that happen, and we've been doing it for a long, long time, to think about how a presenter is thinking to take some of that technical pressure away. So I think that's why we've been successful for a long, long time, because we're not just the AV kit. Anybody can have AV kit. How you think about and manage the people on the stage, thinking before they think of a thing. Water on the table. We've got water on the table here because I need water. Little things like that. So that's how a AV production company would look after an event management team, and obviously have the presenters on stage. So yeah, it was a great privilege to have you on our stage to the Ace of Spades with smoke.
And I think I did that 3 times, and I've been at other events where you've been running that side of things in the background. And you're absolutely right, as I get nervous before I go up to speak. So if I forgot to put water on stage for myself, for example, and there wasn't any there, that would be a huge problem for me, because I'm up there for 45 minutes or so. So because you do that, because you do conferences, 2020, this time last year, this time a year ago, I imagine 2020 was looking as if it should be pretty busy for you.
We had the best start to our calendar year in probably, I think it's 11 years, our best year in 11 years. So an example is in mid-March last year, 2020, we had just delivered, I think it was 21 tons of AV kit over 3 big trucks into the Rico Arena for an audience of 1,000 people. So 1,000 people on round tables. We had a 20-meter wide projection screen, 20 odd tons of kit. It took us 16 hours to build, a full day show with awards, business messages. John Corshaw was on stage. We had a dance troupe. We had Craig Petty, magician, those who might know, he was on the stage. Massive event for us, great income for us, happy clients, 1,000 people in the room. And this was the start of our amazing year, calendar booked all year. Flying, absolutely flying.
And you get social media, so I was aware of that because Gary Vaynerchuk says document, don't create, and so I get to see through social, I guess the bits that people don't usually see, because I get to see the shots of you guys carrying stuff up the stairs and moving everything in, so that when the audience arrives, it's just there. And then I guess around the same time as me, sometime around March the 16th, because I speak on stage a lot, around March the 16th last year, I started getting a lot of emails, and they weren't good emails. They were, hey Steph, you've heard what's going on, we're going to have to cancel this year. I imagine you started getting the same.
Yeah, it was horrendous, I have to say. So we've been through recession in 2008, 2009. The phone was red hot with cancellations. The world ground to a halt was very difficult. This was the same, if not worse. All event work was cancelled pretty much overnight. So every phone call, every email, cancel. And, we plot our world. We have our finances in and out. And I did a chart for the guys here to say, this is a massive problem. Now, we all thought this COVID would be over. We'd be over by 3 months' time, 4 months' time. It's become this massive shitstorm, if I dare say that. So at that time, the end of March, all our work cancelled. So we've got 3 premises, 12 full-time members of staff, a book full of work, all finished. What do you do? And it was horrible, absolutely horrible. I've not experienced anything like that as a business owner. Difficult to keep my chin up. Got to battle through it. We all went through it. I think anybody who just reacted quickly, I think we all had this little lull of, this is horrendous, what do we do? And, we had to make some very difficult decisions here, and we had to let people go, I'll be very honest with you, because the chart was doing that. The graph was going down. We're going to run out of money very quickly. I think I've been very honest with my team here. Yes, I'm the boss, my business partner, Stuart. We sat every now and said, this is it. We got big problems. We had to let people go. They all got it. They understood it. Not a nice thing to have to do. What happens now? We were. This was when before the government support kicked in, and I think we all thought, help. This is horrible. And the government support was a bit late coming because lots of people lost their jobs quite quickly because we had to decide very quickly what to do. So what do you do? You're in this lull of, we've now got no work. No work. With people's to pay, businesses to support, rent, rates, and all that stuff. What do you do? Very difficult time for us, and I'll get into more. But that was our March. Was horrible, absolutely horrible.
So when because every business owner is allowed to step back every so often and be seriously pissed off about life when things happen, and in December of the year before, none of us expected this to happen. In fact, on March the 13th last year, I still had a birthday party. But when you step back from this and were pissed off about the whole thing, what did you, when you picked yourself up off the floor, tell us a little bit about what you decided to do, because that's why we end up here today.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was horrible. I had a lull of a couple of months going, I don't know what to do. We waited. There was a bit of a lull of wait. It will come back. Work will come back. It got to the point of, I said, this is long. This is a long-term thing. Not as long as it's been, but I thought this is, most of the year has gone. We can't just sit here now and just wait for something to happen. It's not going to happen. So I had this idea. And I said, so lots of companies are doing this now, but I'm talking back in early April. So probably about, let's say a month in, I had this idea of, why don't we build some kind of studio where people can come to us, because we're normally going to them on site all around the country. If we build a studio, people can come to us, stand on our proper stage, because by then we'd all have lots of Zoom calls, and rather than just see people head and shoulders, you see a full stage set, as you can see. People can come to us, we film them, we make them look amazing on stage like we do, we know how to do that, and we stream it online to the online audience. People around me, even some of our people here, said, I don't get it, why would they do that? And I said, I just feel like it's something to do. So I did it, and we thought about it, and it got to the point, I think we just got to do it. We thought and thought and thought, and then as it was, Brad Burton, bless him, he said to me, I'm thinking of holding a physical event somehow in this virtual world. How can that be? And I said, well, I'm actually thinking about building this studio. And he said, if you build it, I'll book in. So I said, okay, right, we're going to do this. So I said to the team, we're going to do it. Now, if you can see our studio here, this is our warehouse that was full of AV kit, completely full. And we cleared it all out to make this studio, and it was quite a hard thing to do. You know, we've learned a lot doing this, and it got to the point of, we got this stage set that people can stand on, we beam them out online, and the consensus is, absolutely love it. It's the best Zoom call I've ever seen, is what a lot of people say. We had a Teams call the other day, the best Teams call I've ever been on, because we tried to make it look like a physical studio, like a TV show. And when Brad was here in August, was our first event. We launched in August. After it probably took us 2 or 3 months to build, and we've knocked walls out and put a green room and all sorts of stuff in there to make this scenario. Brad was on stage, you were on our stage, we had pyrotechnics, we had confetti, we had this, that. And we've now got this studio that is now bringing in revenue that we would not have had if we had not done it. And it was so much of a sense of achievement from an idea I had. Now, we build this stuff within 3 or 4 hours on site at the Birmingham Metropole, wherever we are. To do it in our studio, in our warehouse, was so different. It was quite tricky to do, and this learning curve we've been through with the online stuff. We haven't done much streaming stuff at all before COVID. Now it's our world, and we become experts quite quickly. And we've got some great people here who just learn. And now we've got this fully kitted out studio, as you can see. And it's been brilliant for us. I mean, this is now our world, this Spotlight streaming studio. And that's our world now.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will edit in now. After we finish this, I'll put in exactly what it looked like when I came on stage at Brad Burton's event, because talking about it is one thing, seeing you, and you guys are very clever. I can see that you're doing wide angle shots and that sort of thing, but I'll slot in now exactly what that looks like to the audience when someone comes on stage, because having done loads of training sessions and that sort of thing myself, actually for someone who wants an award ceremony or a sales conference or something like that, you can give them something really out of the ordinary now, and something that they're not used to seeing, can't you?
He's the guy that he is now. Boys and girls, give it up for the person whose back was once against the wall, Steph Thomas.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. My name's Stephen Thomas. I am the author of Business Networking for Dummies. Go.
Absolutely right. So, you know, everybody's using Zoom, Teams, we're all using it, and we're all sick to death of it. And what we found is that, a great example this week, we had we set up for an awards evening now, awards ceremony. A client of ours contacted us in October last year, when people are still learning this scenario. We think we might need to hold a virtual awards. And I said, have a look at our studio. It's made for it. Oh, I'm not sure. So they chose to do it themselves on a Zoom call. And bless the operations manager, he's trying to play music through his Zoom off his laptop at the side. And he said, I said, how'd it go? He said, it was awful, absolutely awful. So we've had them in this week to do it properly, I dare say. And they were blown away by having their MD, chief executive, on stage here, delivering awards to their team on a physical stage and we see the chat and they say, this is brilliant, 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 brilliant. Because what you don't see in here is we have a lighting man, we've got a cameraman, we're all social distanced, we've got a sound man, we've got a slide man, we've got a man controlling the stream. All these techie people are making the presenters on stage look amazing, which is what we've done for many, many years. We've brought it in-house, and people love it. Even to see somebody head and shoulders standing up, running around the stage is still new to people on this virtual world. You know, I'm attending quite a few online events just to see how other people are doing it, to be honest. And it is head and shoulders on a Zoom call. Get them on our stage. This is what it's all about. You can make yourself look amazing. So we've got loads coming up. We've got such a busy March. I'm so pleased. What's happened is a lot of people, because of the extended lockdown, we are allowed to stay open, just so people know. Studios can remain open. So, but some of our clients moved from January, February into March. So March is almost fully booked. And if you'd said we'd had a fully booked month back in April last year, I'd said, fully booked with what? What? And we've made this thing into something amazing. I think we're really proud of it, all of us here.
Oh, you should be. I mean, I've seen it, and what people aren't seeing. So let me just explain to anyone, if you're watching this on the video version of it, I'm running this today. So any tech issues is because I'm running this call from home and I set it up. It's Neil's team who are controlling the camera angles at his end, but everything that I'm having to do to make this work is I've got a really messy desk here with my iPad down here where my little control studio is and that sort of thing. And when I turn up at your place, it's the bits that people can't see. It's the banks and banks of stuff that I would call mixing desks. I've no idea whether that's the right expression, but with guys sitting there and cameras in front of the stage, and you've got a higher level as well with a couple of cameras, and I think we had lights up there and that sort of thing for now. When people are looking at you now on this, and when people are seeing you, the events that you do, they don't see, a bit like a theme park or something like that, they don't see all the stuff in the background that goes into making this work.
That's exactly it. That was our world. So previous life, it'll come back, but when we're delivering events out on the road, so we used to do a lot with Nigel Bottle Entrepreneur Circle. So if anybody watching this has ever been in the room at the Birmingham Metropole, he would have 600-700 people in the room. He puts on a great show. I saw people in the audience after I've been doing some networking after the show, and I would say, "Oh, we worked with Nigel Bottle." And they say, "Oh, we were there on Tuesday." I say, "Oh, so they'll say, well, Neil, what were you doing there?" I said, "Well, we were doing all the AV." Well, what does that mean? Well, that big backdrop and those screens and and his microphones working and everything happening, that was us doing it. Really? God, how does that work? Yeah, people don't know we exist, and that's fine. I'm not here to say it's all about us. But now, even in the studio, there are, on a typical job, we have 5 technicians running sound, light, projection, etc. And what we found was quite difficult when we launched the studio. So we had to price this because it's very different than our normal pricing. I've been quoting work for 25 years, no problem at all. I need a quote for a European roadshow, no problem. We've now got to price up the studio, and we found it really, really difficult. Firstly, not that people want to spend much money at the moment, but actually there's a real value we're giving to these event managers. To have your chief executive and chairman on our stage, they've still got to look amazing. But again, well, it's all just here, isn't it? Well, I know it's here, but we've invested in it. We've got £100,000 worth of equipment. You have 5 technicians for the day, and people want to spend 800 quid. Well, that's not the deal. That's not how it works. So that's been quite a challenge for us. And I'll be honest with you, at the start, when we need some income, I was helping everybody out, just come in for 500 quid. Again, to get some assets, Brad and yourself talk about getting assets of the shows you do. So I was offering it out for pretty cheap, just to say, look, just so we can show we've done, just to show we've done a training seminar. We were giving it out for quite cheap. And it got to the point after about 2 or 3 months, I said, we're doing quite well here. I think we just got to be careful now of giving this away for cheap. There's a real quality we're giving. And I just said, from now on, this is our pricing and this is what it is. And we're positioned. There's quite a few AV companies who are doing this studio setup because it is the only chance we have of any revenue. So quite a few other AV companies are doing it. Some of the big boys, and we're not a big boy. We've got our list of clients who love coming to Istead. We look after them at the level they're at. We don't work with the Tesco's of this world. Their shows are amazing. Good luck to the big boys doing it. We have our clients, our select clients who we work at our level with them. And it's like our studio. There are studios around the UK now who have fully LED wall, fantastic setup. I've seen one of them. It's amazing. You're paying £15,000, £20,000 a day. Our clients aren't paying that. We're positioned where we are. Every time our clients walk in, go, this is incredible. Wow. And the feedback, as I say, people are getting the best Zoom call I've ever had. It doesn't have to be Zoom or Teams. We stream it out to various lots of places, but people are loving the stage setup, a physical environment, and it's been great. It's been great.
So, and I haven't prepared anyone for this question, actually. So, for any other business owner, managing director, self-employed person who's had all of this thrown at them, that they've had to shut down because of the pandemic, and there's going to be challenges for throughout the rest of this year, and there's always going to be challenges in business. We don't know what's around the corner, and just as much as there are always opportunities. What advice would you give to someone who's just been kicked in the stomach like you were last March?
Yeah, I'm quite a positive kind of guy. I have a lot of fun. It's hard work. Even in our world, it's very hard work. We play hard. So I'm generally quite optimistic. We were definitely kicked in the teeth. But I just had to think of something else. I had to think on my feet, make those decisions quick. Yourself talks about that as well. If you've got an idea, and I had this idea, and people around me were going, I don't get it. And I said, I've got to do it. I've got to do it and try. So I think if you can think of something, give it a bloody go. If you don't give it a go, you might say, if only. Give it a go. If you fail, you've given it a go. We've decided things here that haven't worked. Right, start again. Oh, come on, Neil, what are you playing at? It didn't work. We move on. Let's try another thing. Try. Something will happen, and keep positive. Keep buoyant about it. This COVID will end. Even this week, I think we all feel that we're going to get through this now. We've all had our ups and downs. It will keep being ups and downs, but things pass. Things change. Just keep positive. Go with your gut. I think that's probably what I've learned this time. Go with my gut. There's other things I probably haven't done before because I'm not sure. It's a bit of a gamble. But what I also think now is if I can save our business now through this, I can do anything now. Whatever, any problems come my way, because you might lose a client, a big client. That's happened before a few times, not because of us, just things change. Somebody moves on, they've gone. Horrible. Are we going to be all right? I'll tell you what, if I lose a client now, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. If we lose all our work and we're still here, if they go because they choose somebody else because they're cheaper, see you later. And we've had a conversation here as a board team. I said, we've got to be strong coming out of this. Some of our competitors have gone. We're here. We're still out there. We're on social media a lot. People know who we are. We've got new clients who have come into the studio that we've never delivered their physical work. They're talking to us now about, when you guys, we go back on the road? Yes, we'll be back on the road. Can't wait to get back on the road. Oh, I think we need to talk to you about it. So peaks and troughs within the business order. This is the worst trough we've ever had, and we've survived it. So I'm quite buoyant about this, and I say to the team, we'll survive this now. We'll be all right. And I think I might take a few more gambles. I don't know what they are coming my way, or just think I might do that now, because if it does go wrong, it's not the end of the world. If we invest lots of money in this fancy bit of kit and nobody's using it, I reckon if we lose a bit of money, it's fine. We'll carry on. We'll survive it. So, yeah, I think be positive, go with your gut, make decisions, and just go with it. Give it a go.
And when do you think, because you and me just talked just before we started recording, when do you think we'll start having sales conferences, business conferences, that sort of thing again? When do you think that will realistically start to come back?
Yeah, it's a great question. part of me thinks I've stopped guessing because we've delayed. I've stopped guessing, but certainly this week already, since the news, we've had a few inquiries for the autumn. Now, we've got some inquiries for hybrid events. So hybrid will be the new event. So it'll be, if you had 200 people in a room, the hybrid event will be 100 people in a room, a bit social distancing, I'm sure, with 100 plus online. So a hybrid will be, we build a stage set at the Birmingham Metropole, for example, the big hotel in Birmingham. We've got our physical kit in the room. There'll be a percentage, maybe 50% in the room. Those who don't want to go on site, we will stream that out to them, just like we're streaming now. So there's a hybrid, a mix of the two. And I think the hybrid events will be here forever, if not for many, many years to come, because there will be people not wanting to travel, completely get it. We're talking about hybrid events already in July, September. We also have lots of work in the calendar now for October and November, and already we've got clashes of work in November. So I have said this for about 6 months. I do think autumn this year is back to some kind of normality. I have stopped guessing because I've been guessing I've got it wrong, but I do. It's all the people I'm talking to on industry stuff is by the autumn, because these events, although we're saying June, or Boris has said we're out in it by June, July, we're back in the clear. These events take a long time to plan. You don't just turn it around in a month. And I think there'll be a few events will happen in June, July, August time. People will go, actually, this is working, we can do this. And I think there'll be a bit of a lag before the events actually take place October, November. But one of our clients, our biggest client, we do 12, 13, 14 events a year with them. He's saying October back into London on normal events. So that's my hunch. I've been wrong a lot over the last year, but that's my best guess at the moment. And I do hope so. And then because we are here, ready to go, we're still live. You know, some of the big boys in our industry have gone, they've liquidated. We're still here. We'll come through this. And people we're talking to can't wait to get back to have a physical event, have a chat with somebody, have a coffee in the networking environment, all that good stuff. And we're here ready for it. And I'm so proud to be still in this mix, because if you spoke to me in April last year, some people had spoken to me and I said, I think my business will close. We're ready now, and it's brilliant.
Do you know what? I've got nothing to add to that. What a really positive statement.
Yeah.
Neil, thank you ever so much for spending the time. If people want to find you on LinkedIn, I'll pop some links in the descriptions of this, both on the video and on the podcast. But I know they'll find you as Neil Sayer on LinkedIn. And if anyone's interested in booking you, either for Spotlight Streaming Studios or when we get back to normal, I'm pretty sure you're open for that sort of inquiry as well, aren't you?
Absolutely right. Look, check out our website, istead.co.uk. It's on my shirt. There's Istead, that one. No, that way. istead.co.uk. You'll see all about our studio as well. But this studio is sort of temporary. We will take this studio down, I think, because we will be busy people back on the road. But see what we do. Maybe you've seen one of our shows without even knowing it. Have a look at our gallery. I was at that event. We were the guys behind the scenes. So that's our world. Check it out, istead.co.uk. Thank you for your time, Steph. I really appreciate asking me to be a part of this. I'm loving your work. I love seeing you on our stage, and I hope we can do that again in the autumn. Let's go with the autumn. It's going to happen.
Neil Sayer, thank you ever so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Steph. Take it easy.